Hello, I am Ron Goode and I live in Woodbridge, Virginia. I grew up in Arlington, Virginia at a time when my family could not eat at any of the lunch counters in any of the local drugstores. On our way from Arlington to Beller's Crossroads, we would pass a carnival that had pony rides. My brother and I would ask if we could stop and ride the ponies, and my parents always told us no. And when we asked why, they would say, because they won't let you. I later realized who they were and why they wouldn't let us. On one particular day, my brother and I asked again if we could stop and ride the ponies. According to my father, he said to himself, I am tired of having to tell my kids no. My kids are going to ride the ponies today. So for the first time, he stopped and he walked up to the ticket booth and asked the woman behind the booth, very matter-of-factly, to purchase 2 rides for the ponies. To his surprise, she said to him, I'm glad you stopped. I've never liked this. And without taking any of his money, she put my brother and I on a pony each. The other families left very quickly, and soon my brother and I had the carnival to ourselves. I first realized and accepted the fact that I was gay while I was in college and still a teen. The worst thing I can remember happening to me was encountering a student in my second year of college who decided that he didn't like gays and me in particular. He did whatever he could to humiliate me by being disrespectful, marking the way I talked, or just being rude. That all changed when I decided to take swimming as a gym elective, and I wound up in the same advanced swimming class as he. It turns out that I was the fastest and most skillful swimmer in the class, and he was one of the least skillful and the slowest. I caused him to get failing grades many times because I would finish my second lap before he could finish his first lap. When all the other students in the class were asking for my help in swimming better, which I was happy to do, he could only lower his head and walk away. When I reflect on my life growing up in the 60s and 70s as a gay African-American male, I sometimes marvel at the fact that I somehow avoided some of the suffering that so many other people have had to endure. It doesn't mean that I should diminish or discount their suffering just because I have not experienced it. In fact, as a human being, I feel I have a responsibility to do the complete opposite. Through my Buddhist practice, I realize I need to support those who suffer the most, to stand up for them and stand up against injustice when I see it, and inspire others to do the same.